Hey, I see you. You see me? Why you don't see me? You see all that steel out there unloaded on the truck, huh? Off the truck. Yes, yes, yes. It is me again. Brother from Israel, Northeast Africa. In the city of where am I? Oh, Kiryat Gat. Yeah, this is Kiryat Gat, Israel. Over here, operating the crane for where we build an Intel. A lot of this steel out here, all of this steel is going to the new plant. This is actually a small portion of it. And it's another field over there about 2, maybe 3 times the size of this yard. All of this steel they got stacked up. They erecting, and what I'm doing right now is that the guys order the different pieces, the truck come and, I load them up on the truck and they go. When the truck is not here, I am still busy on the clock getting paid. So in other words, you don't see a truck, right? Okay, that means I'm doing what? No, it don't say that. I'm talking to you. I'm doing something. I'm talking to you. And I got another good one for you. Boy, that last one on Trump, that set it off, didn't it? Woo, everybody. I got another one on Trump. And you're going to really dig this one too, just like the last one. A lot of people are like, whoa. But I got something today I want to tell you about Trump, Biden, Bush, Obama, who else? Clinton, who else? Reagan, the peanut farmer, what was his name? The elder guy, this peanut farmer from Georgia, Carter, yeah, Jimmy Carter. I got something I want to tell you about all of them, but I want you to focus on Trump. Trump. Before we get started, go ahead and subscribe right now. That's important because these videos are very interesting from the brother from Israel, Nubian King, Northeast Africa. Go ahead and subscribe. Also the like button, because people are looking and the video is getting passed around for people to listen to the commentary. And again, don't forget to hit the bell that notifies you when I do upload another video, the notification bell, because people are listening, because the commentary is thought-provoking. And that's what I'm here for, to get you to think and consider and use your brain, use your head for more than a hat rack. Okay? Subscribe, hit the like button and the bell. Now let me get into this and show you how Trump is not guilty, nor is he responsible. All right? I got something for you today, boy, y'all. I'm about to blow your hair back. If you're bald head, we about to polish your knob up there. If you wear a wig, we gonna mess your wig up with this information. And this is gonna be easy for you to go and, well, I'm gonna read it to you out the book. I'm gonna show you out the book what I'm talking about. Now, what I'm gonna name the title of this video? We'll say Trump is not the one, or we could say Trump is not guilty, or we could say Trump doesn't have the power. Because, like I said in another video, 2 years after being out of office, he got the entire U.S. government butthole tight. I don't know why. You don't know why. We don't know why exactly, but it's something. That's all I can say. You know, we got a lot of people speculating on it and talking about it, but in reality, we don't know. Because what I'm about to show you today is going to reveal to you how is it that I can say, I don't know, you don't nobody know. The only one know is them. Now, I'm going to tell you who them is so you can, know. All right, now, again, for all you smart alecks that's talking about my diction, I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia in 1961, July 24th, 7:47 in the morning. I weighed 17 pounds and 7 ounces. And I do have a Southern diction. Some of my words are most Southerner, you know. But if I say something like the Wall Street General, I'm not saying the Wall Street General. Hell, if I did say the Wall Street General, you still know what I'm talking about. You understand? So I don't want you to be thrown off if I mispronounce a word. You still know what I'm talking about. Because you're smart. See, you're smart. You real smart. You know I was saying smart. Get out of here. Stop messing with me. Okay, now let's go with today's information. All right. We're going to take this information from this incredible book entitled The Conspirators' Hierarchy, The Story of the Committee of 300 by Dr. John Coleman. I got this book out of London. And if you want to know what's some of the good books at, go over there. You know, get your hand on some of the real good books. This book was brought to me by a close friend of mine that we be on this type of information. Anyway, this book, The Conspirator Hierarchy, The Committee 300 by Dr. John Coleman. He's a former member of the British MI6. He ripped the lid off the conspiratorial group, which knows no national boundary, is above the laws of all countries, and control every aspect of politics, religion, commerce, industry, banking, insurance, mining, and even the drug trade. They control all of that. Now, this book, you can learn how this small elite group who are answerable to no one except his own members, they don't pull the strings on all world events. You hear what I'm saying? All world events, they have pulled the string. No matter what you may think it is, a pandemic, endemic, whatever, they behind it. This stuff is not happening haphazardly. Wars don't just haphazardly spring up out of nowhere. It is individuals sitting back making all this stuff happen, right? They controlling all of that. All right, now, you're going to learn how, this group done pulled the strings on all these world events and why. And up until now, few people have ever been aware of their existence, let alone their power in manipulating the affairs of the entire world. All of these members are revealed in this book, including all of the corporations, government agencies, and various movements which they have developed and controlled to further their own aims for world dominion. This is what these guys and girls after, total world dominion. And so you're going to find out in this particular book who's at the seat of power of this octopus of evil, whose tentacles reach into your very life and what you can do about it. This is the book. Let me show it to you. All right. Boom. There it is. See? Conspirators, Hierarchy, The Story of the Committee of 300 by Dr. John Coleman. See how worn it is? You see? See how powerful information? Look at this. Look at all that. See them? Look at them highlights. Reading through this book. Look at that. Root of the rock music, disco. It said the 12 tonal system consisted of heavy, repetitive sounds taken from the music of the cult of Dionysus and the Baal priesthood by Adorno, and given a modern flavor by the special friend of the Queen of England, and hence the Committee of 300. Tavistock and its Stanford Research Center created trigger words, which then came into general uses around rock music and its fan. Trigger words created a distinct new breakaway, largely young population group, which was persuaded by social engineering and conditioning to believe that the Beatles really were their favorite group. See there? I'll show you this here. So you got to know this. An outstanding example of social conditioning to accept change, even when it's recognized as unwelcome change by the large population group in the sites of Stanford Research Institute, was the advent of the Beatles. The Beatles were brought to the United States as part of a social experiment which would subject large population group to brainwashing of which they was not even aware. Oh, y'all think I just be running my mouth, huh? Look, what it say right here. When Tavistock brought the Beatles to the United States, nobody could even imagine the cultural disaster that would follow in their wake. The Beatles were an integral part of the Aquarian conspiracy, a living organism which sprang from the changing image of man. See, it gets deep there. See, URA 489-2150 Policy Research Report number 4-4-74. Policy report prepared by the SRI Center for the Study of Social Policy Director Professor William Harmon. See, I ain't out here just, fat mouthing on some yodi. You know what I'm saying? Look at this other piece here. It said, if something is to be promoted, which the public has not yet been fully brainwashed to accept, then have someone write an article covering all sides of the subject matter. The other method is to have live television talk shows in which a panel of experts promote the product or idea under the pretext of discussing it. CNN. You see, those people that be telling you that these mainstream news medias are not news media, they're news actors. You know what I'm saying? And they be brainwashing you into believing some bullshiggity, that this is what you should do. All this. Look, see, it breaks down the structure of Freemasonry. And I have to tell y'all about me being invited to the Mason meeting. When I was in the States, I was invited. I didn't go. The guy that approached me, I had given a little speech. Small, it wasn't no big speech. It was just a little small something I stated in a meeting I was in. I had to tell you, I don't have to go into detail. But after, the meeting, this guy came over and he said, hey, you know anything about the Masons? No, not like that. I heard about them, but I don't know enough detail to actually talk about them. And he said, you know what? Man, you make great Mason material. I'm like, really? I want to invite you to the meeting, our meeting. So I didn't go. That was in America. So I get here to Israel, and the same thing happened. Meet a guy we working, and he said, you ever heard anything about the Masons? I said, yeah, I don't know much, but I know about they group. I don't know any details like that. He said, you would be great Mason material. I said, would I? And I heard the same thing over in America a few years earlier. Now over in Israel, guy, Israeli, he tell me about it. I said, really? He said, I'd like to invite you to a meeting. 1 hour meeting to meet some of the members at our lodge. And I'm like, okay, Bethsaida. You know, Bethsaida means okay. Bethsaida. So anyway, I think about it, and you know, like the first guy that invited me to the meeting in America, you know, I didn't go. Cause hey, I ain't think nothing in it. You know, you hear about those secret societies, you know, the Masons, you understand, all those different, you know, different groups and all this stuff. And you know, you be hearing stories about sacrifice and yada yada yada, and devil worship and Philip. Now, when I run into a situation like that where there's so much uncertain controversy, I kind of put a pause on it. Because if it's something that's not really critical concerning my life, and it's something that's not so critical that it's going to make my life plus or minus or whatever, like I really don't need to deal with it, then I generally don't deal with it, because of the fact that you got so much controversy going. I don't know if you're good or bad, left, right, cold, hot, coming or going, up and down. The best thing for me to do is put pause on that until I can get to a point where I'm absolutely certain that this is what you're dealing with. So I didn't go to the meeting over when the guy invited me in the States. Now, in Israel, when the fella invited me, I thought about it, and you know, being in Israel, and you know, I'm like, I said, and then it's the second invitation I done got, one in America and then one here in Israel. I'm like, whoa, is this something connected? Are they really trying to get me for some reason because they hear me speak? And I'm like, okay, so what is this about? I'm in Israel now, and the guy was telling me their lodge is, you know, where I was at up in Tel Aviv and whatnot. And he said, I'd like you to come, because he said you would be he said you would benefit greatly from being a part of us, and we would benefit greatly from having you as a member of us. We both would benefit. I say we both would benefit. He said, yeah. So anyway, I said, let me think about it. So I said, okay, I'll come. And what I decided was, since, you know, it was Israel and it's the second invitation, maybe it's something building up. Maybe it's something that I need to just, you know, if I don't do nothing, just go check out. Because the guy here in Israel, he said, give you an opportunity to come meet some of the lodge members and see where we at, and try to get a better understanding of who we are, what we doing, and why we feel, you know, you'll be a good fit for us. I said, okay, I'll come check it out. So I did. I went, and they were in a high-rise building in Tel Aviv, Israel, and they took up half the big high-rise. I'm like, Shazam! That's deep. That's impressive. So I go into the area, and it was wow. It had all of this kind of different artifacts and pictures and everything. I didn't video anything, but they took pictures of me with the members and everything. I still had those pictures. And so they came out, because they was in a meeting, and then I came out, and it was a big dinner. You know, we ate, and there was another guy from California that was here in Israel visiting, and he was a large member out there in the States, and so he came here to visit. And so that same night that I went, he was there, and they allowed he and I to speak, you know, as visitors, guests, and what have you. So he spoke, I spoke, and then when I spoke to him in Hebrew, and I told him that קודם כל אני רוצה להגיד שאני מרגיש מעולה. אני יכול להרגיש את רוח פה, שרוח נחמד, נעים מאוד. אני שמח מאוד להיות פה, להשתתף יחד איתכם. ואני קודם רוצה לומר שאני ממש תודה לכם, שאתם נתן לי את ההזדמנות לבוא, להשתתף יחד איתכם. תודה לך, כל כבוד, שאני ממש שמח. ונהיה, you know. ורוצה לראות מה יהיה בעתיד. ושוב פעם, Toda Rabba, Shalom. What I said is that I feel good. It's a good energy in here. I feel comfortable. And I want to thank you, for inviting me and having me to fellowship with you. And I appreciate the invitation and thank you. Just basic, simple, wasn't nothing like that. And then at the end, I asked them, I need to barati ivrichili. Gan Yeladim University. They laughed and clapped. They said, yeah, it was good. It's good, Try to do my little Hebrew. Now, one side of the room was, a table full of old Israeli white guys. And they wore white long sleeve shirts. And this is something that you rarely see all over Israel. Israeli men wearing gold. Now I wear gold. I like my gold ring, my watches, my chain, my bracelet. That's just to me like my little treat. Like after I work, got the family, locked down, bills paid, water, light, gas, everything paid, food, everybody comfortable, and whatever little money is left over that I can play with. Generally, you'll see I treat myself a little piece of gold. And since I'm a big black dude moving around Israel wearing gold, that's an unusual sight. It's like, whoa, where you from? That first thing, where are you from? Because there are no big bodied black men like me moving around Israel looking good as I am wearing gold. So I'm like, bam, you stand out. But those cats, every one of them old cats, they had gold watches and rings and bracelets. I mean, they was like blinging, shining. I'm like, wow, everyone, I think it's about 10 of them over there on that long table. That I noticed. And then, they was friendly. We talked, ate and everything, dinner. And then the director, I don't know if you call him the director, the lodge man, the top guy in the lodge invited me to a picnic they had at the park somewhere up there. And, he asked me, did the guy invite me, tell me about the process of becoming a member? I said, yeah, somewhat. He said, well, you are experiencing the first step. That's come, meet, and then a lot of guys, they shared their numbers with me and everything, call, whatever. And then his number, anytime you need me, talk, whatever, that door is open. And we expect you to see you in the park. And it was cool. They spirit, their energy and everything was real cool. And even he opened the door and showed me the special room that they had the meeting in there. And I looked, a bunch of whole stuff, there's a lot of different stuff that I didn't know about. You hear out there in the streets in different places, rituals that they have. Well, whatever. So anyway, I didn't go back. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I didn't go back, because of the controversy that I had heard so much concerning Masonry and all of that. And so I just didn't show up. They called a few times, we talked, but when they noticed I wasn't coming, I didn't come to the outing, the picnic in the park, and then they invited me to something else. I didn't show. I guess they got the message I wasn't interested. So they stopped calling, I stopped calling, and it went like that. And I didn't get involved in it because I wasn't sure. Some people good, some people bad. And I asked the guy exactly, what do you all do? Well, he said we do a lot of community service, a lot of philanthropy and all that. And so he showed me a picture of a helicopter that they actually bought and donated to London. Some kind of major disaster, catastrophe had happened in London, and their lodge bought the helicopter and sent it over so the emergency service could use it. Yay, whatever, but still, all this other bad stuff I heard, I just didn't deal with it. That's it. That's all. Okay? Now, this is why I want to talk to you about Trump. And the reason why I'm saying Trump is not the one is based on this information in this book. Now let's go. This page right here breaks down, right, who's who in World Organization. And it's on page 265. Conspirator hierarchy, page 265. We start at the top. We look briefly at the Committee 300. We go to the left, Zionism. Under the control of the Committee 300, you have Zionism, communism, Fabrism, liberalism, socialism, and right-wing parties. Then just under there, you have the United Nations and member nations. And over to the right under the Committee 300, you have the kings of Saudi Arabia, sheikhs of Dubai, and Kuwait, the UAE. The kings of Saudi Arabia, the sheikhs of Dubai, Kuwait, and the UAE. And also branching out from them, you got the British intelligence, Interpol, CIA, Mossad, other intelligence agency. And straight from them is the Royal Institute for International Affairs. And right under the Royal Institute for International Affairs, you'll sometimes see it listed as RIIA, Royal Institute for International Affairs. You have the Tavistock Institute of Human Relations. Now that bit that I read to you earlier about the social engineering, all of that comes out the Tavistock Institute of Human Relations. You see a lot of these things, the way they word it, it really can confuse you if you don't know what they're talking about. And this Tavistock Institute of Human Relations is some deep stuff. But that ain't what I want to cover today. And then you got the Club of Rome. You got NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. You got the U.S. military under the Club of Rome, under the Tavistock, under the Royal Institute of International Affairs, under the Committee 300, way down here, U.S. military. Let's go over here and look around. So an offshoot from the Royal Institute for International Affairs, you got the Rose-Milner Group. You ain't heard about them in a long time. You got the Round Table. Terrorism, a part of the Institute for International Affairs. And what's under that? Freemasonry and other secret societies, the 9 unknown men. You see, Freemasonry, they tied into all of this. What this is a breakdown of the way the world is organized and structured. Up at the top, kings of Saudi Arabia, British intelligence, Interpol, CIA, Royal Institute for International Affairs. Under the banking, petroleum, banking, mining, insurance, commerce, and industry. What's over here? Religious organization, one world government, church, and foundation. What do you mean, the one world government church? Different foundation. Canadian Institute for International Affairs, Canadian Institute, the executive arm of the RIIA. I told you earlier, it's the Royal Institute for International Affairs, and this is the executive arm of the Royal Institute for International Affairs. All that a break offshoot of the Committee 300, right? You got the trilaterals, the Bilderbergs, the Council on Foreign Relations, and the U.S. government and the media down here at the very bottom. Who else down here at the bottom? British East Indian Company, Hong Kong and London Council, opium, cocaine. Who's at the bottom down here? Institution, what kind? SRI, MIT, IPS, Rand Hudson, Wharton, so-called Institute of Higher Learning. But once you look at, you see, you got the U.S. government down here at the bottom. Ain't nothing under the government with my finger. At the very bottom. Look at all of them organization and men, Committed 300, United Nations, Royal Institute. Look at all that going on in the government down here at the very bottom. You see that? Pan out so you can see the whole chart. And there you go. That's the way the world is structured. Now, how does all this tie into Donald J. Trump? What does that say? You see that clearly? The United States government and the media. You remember I read to you earlier about, I read you that portion and I told you how they use the media to perpetuate a thought process. Like he wrote in the book here, it says they come off as it's news and they just discussing it, but in reality, they're actually programming you to think a certain way about the subject that they, quote unquote, discussing. And what is that? The media. Down here at the bottom. Next to the U.S. government. The U.S. government and the media on the same tier. Now, I'm going to just show this to you one more time. So you won't think I'm just blowing smoke. Conspirator Hierarchy, the story of the Committed 300. Written by Dr. John Coleman. You see that picture? What is that? What's that in that cage? That's planet Earth. Locked up in a cage with a padlock. See that? Let's get a clear picture of that. So I want you to see this. What is that bad boy right there? That is a padlock. You see that right there? The whole planet Earth is in a cage, locked in a padlock. Well, who got the key to the cage? The Committed 300. And everything else is under its control. And the U.S. government down at the very bottom. So if the U.S. government is down at the very bottom, where's the U.S. president? I just laid it out to you. All these other institutions, entities, men, and institute and organization has higher position on the world organization chart of different structures than the U.S. government. The Saudi kings, Dubai, Kuwait, they got more authority and power on this chart, this organization chart, than the U.S. government. I got to show you again because I don't want you to think I'm just here to blow you off. I want you to see this. Again, up at the top, you got the kings of Saudi Arabia, the sheikhs of Dubai, and whoa, down at the very, very bottom, your U.S. government. So if the U.S. government is sitting down at the bottom with the media, down there with the opium and cocaine and these other institutions, the drug trade, look where it's at, all down at the bottom. And all these other Zionism, communism, Fabianism, liberty, all the United Nations members, all that, and the Committed 300. So what does that tell you about the U.S. president? Donald Trump ain't got no power. Donald Trump ain't calling no shots. That's what it's saying. The Saudi kings, they calling the shots. The Committed 300, they calling the shots. Remember now, the president come and he speak off of what? The teleprompter. He's reading the speech. Somebody done wrote his speech. Did you know that? Very rarely does the U.S. president get up there and just get the blue, 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 blue. That joke is always controlled because he's controlled by an organization that's controlling the entire planet Earth. Oh, you thought I was just out here fat mouthing, just, oh yeah, whatever. And y'all, you probably thought I'm just out here talking, theophysically because I just want to. No. You see this book? You didn't know nothing about this. Oh, it's a book. It's been written years ago. Hold up. Let's look and see when it was wrote. Okay. So you'll know. All right, let's look through here and see when this baby was written. Where we find it at? See, you got your ISBN number that you can go somewhere and find it. See, it was copyrighted in 1992 by Dr. John Coleman. See that? Library of Congress, catalog and publication data. There you go. If you want to look it up, get the ISBN number. Library of Congress, printed in the United States. Okay. Now I want to share this with you right fast. About who they are, who they think they are, who they say they are, out of this book. Okay. All right, here you go. But check this out, okay? We'll read right here. Tavistock Institute called for a no. I don't want to read that. Let's just take it here. Thus, from the very beginning, the United States government was fully aware of the Committee 300 plan for this country. That should answer the often asked question, why would our government allow the Club of Rome to operate in a subversive manner in the United States? Okay, now, here you go. This is something that should be interesting for you. What are the goals of this secret elite group, the inheritors of Illuminism, Moriah conquering wind, the cult of Dionysus? I said, what are the goals of this secret elite group, the inheritors of Illuminism, Moriah conquering wind, the cult of Dionysus? All right, the cult of Isis. See, while you all out watching the President of the United States of America, I told you, when I saw the background that he was speaking in front of, those red bricks with all that blood red light shining up on it, it shocked me. I stopped. Okay, you had a seal of the President of the United States, but then you got the two guards standing there. Some of these imagery speak 1,000 words and you don't notice them. So while he's talking, you may be paying attention to what he's saying and trying to understand what he's saying, but at the same time, with your eyes looking at him, you are being subliminally programmed with the visual aids, even though nobody's saying nothing about the who, what, when, why the walls are red. I'm telling you, but you looking at that, you're being programmed. People ain't playing, Now, all right, let's go a little further. Check this out. Why Trump ain't the one to be mad at. Okay, let's get it. What are the goals of this secret elite group, the inheritors of Illuminism, Moriah conquering wind, the cult of Dionysus, the cult of Isis, Catharism, Bogolimism, shut up. I told you I'm from Georgia. You can read it. You know what it's saying. Be quiet. This elite group that also calls itself the Olympians, they truly believe they are equal in power and stature of the legendary gods of Olympus. Whoa, y'all, man. Yeah. They feel that they at that level. You know what I'm saying? Because look at what they doing. All of this stuff We just went through the year or two, the lockdown, all this other stuff. They put that together. They planned that. They look, before they even rolled it out, they had already planned this stuff. They truly believe they are equal in power and stature to the legendary gods of Olympus, who have, like Lucifer, their god. And so is that why the lights were blood red behind the U.S. president? Are you telling me that they actually download devil worshippers? They have set themselves above our true God. Absolutely believe they have been charged with implementing the following by divine right: a one world government, new world order with a unified church and monetary system under their direction. Not many people are aware that the one world government began setting up its church in the 1920s and 30s. For they realized the need for a religious belief inherent in mankind to have an outlet, and therefore set up a church body to channel that belief in the direction they desire. All of you Bible thumping believers that called on Jesus and at the same time getting your ass whooped, you're believing in something they put together. They told you that. That's why he ain't came back and did nothing for you. Because you sitting up believing in some bullshickety with all these shenanigans based on what they told you, and I can't tell you nothing different. You know, it's like Shazam, man. We are here on this planet. We have these brains and these minds to do things, but these slick, tricky dick jokers have figured out a way to control everybody. Everybody. And we done fell for it hook, line, and sinker for years. And now I'm telling you, it's time to wake up, people. All right, now, they believe that they have been charged with implementing the following by divine right: the utter destruction of all national identity and national pride. Good googly boo. What is happening right now in the United States of America? The utter destruction of all national identity and national pride. The destruction of religion, and more especially the Christian religion, with the one exception, their own creation mentioned above. Control of each and every person through means of mind control, and what Brzezinski called technotronics, which would create human-like robots and a system of terror based on the Felix Dzerzhinsky red terror will look like children play. And an end to all industrialization and the production of nuclear-generated electric power in what they call the post-industrial zero growth. So what are they talking about? The green energy and all that stuff? Legalization of drugs and pornography. Good googly boo. OnlyFans. They talking about OnlyFans model. You was a hoe. What? You out there doing some porno. OnlyFans. Let's keep going, because you need to know this. The depopulation of large cities according to the trial run called out by Pol Pot regime in Cambodia. It is interesting to note that Pol Pot genocidal plans were drawn up here in the United States by one of the Club of Rome Research Foundation. Suppression of all scientific development except for those deemed beneficial by the committee. A fusion torch properly used could create unlimited, untapped natural resources from the most ordinary substances. Fusion torches used are legions and would benefit mankind in a manner which is yet not even remotely comprehended by the public. They don't want you to do that. They don't want no free energy. They don't want nothing but you to go out there and buy that gas, diesel for your car, truck, or what have you. And the majority of that stuff is blown up in the atmosphere as smoke, wasted. They believed they had a right to cause, by means of limited wars in advanced countries and by means of starvation and disease in third world countries, the death of 3 billion people by the year 2000. And this book was written in 1992. And so they said by the year 2000, they want to wipe out 3 billion people they call useless eaters. You see, when I was reading this book, that's where I first heard the term useless eaters. It says the Committee of 300 commissioned Cyrus Vance to write a paper on this subject of how best to bring about such genocide. The paper was produced under the title Global 2000 Report and was accepted and approved for action by President Carter for and on behalf of the U.S. government, and accepted by Edwin Muskie, then Secretary of State, under the term of Global 2000 Report. The population of the United States is to be reduced by 100 million by the year 2050. And what is it that y'all have taken that is doing that? Oh, you don't want me to go there. Another goal, to weaken the moral fiber of the nation and to demoralize workers in the labor class by creating mass unemployment. Then let me just make a point about that. I'm noticing that the closer you get to November, all of a sudden unemployment rate is dropped, the fuel price is dropping, the housing market is bettering, the jobs, they talking about in California, bringing the minimum wage to like what, $22 an hour. You see all this miraculous improvement in social society just for November. People don't be sheeple. People don't be sheeple. People don't be stupid. This is a plan. And then I'm gonna tell you how to get around it. Okay, let me, if you still with me. Now, here's another one. Got to check this out. Get deep, man. Number 11, they feel that by divine right, they can do this. To keep people everywhere from deciding, I'm reading right here, to keep people everywhere from deciding their own destinies by means of one created crisis after another, and then managing such crisis. To keep people everywhere from deciding their own destinies by means of one created crisis after another, then managing such crises. They create the crisis, then they come and say, okay, we got a solution for that. And next thing you know, you all in the trick bag. This will confuse and demoralize the population to the extent where faced with too many choices, apathy on a massive scale will result. In the case of the United States, an agency for crisis management is already in place. It's called the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, whose existence I first disclosed in 1980. There will be more on FEMA as we proceed. To introduce new cults